Hi everyone, my name is Ginger Glover. I will be giving my presentation today on professional communication practices. When most people think of this topic, they think of something that's extremely broad, which my research was extremely broad, but I brought it down into 3 main points. So those 3 main points are delivering your message with concision, knowing your audience directly, and becoming an active listener. So whether an individual is at work or in an interpersonal relationship, well-defined communication is extremely vital. Many people would agree that effective communication is one of the crucial aspects that countless leaders have. They know how to be clear with their message, they know how to be personable, and they know how to be wonderful listeners. Most of us want to learn how to become highly effective communicators, but this overall goal is hard to achieve. I will be concentrating on a few of the communication practices that I feel are essential for the professional world. So when learning to communicate, make sure that we are being clear with our message, knowing our audience, and becoming an active listener. In today's society where technology is a staple, many of our messages may get mixed up unintentionally. Therefore, it is crucial to acquire personal communication practices and deliver your message with clarity, which takes me right into my first point. Individuals usually enter a conversation with an acquaintance at work and not understand what the conversation was even about by the end of it. The receiver most likely understood the foundation of the message, but the sender might have only been using too complicated of terminology or simply didn't verbalize the message in a comprehensive way towards the person who was listening. This type of interaction could be fully avoided by understanding the importance and practicing communication concision. So, Deb Calvert, a president of People First Productivity Solutions, declared the importance of clarity within her article about professionally communicating with your audience. She states the following, I'm going to quote her: "Misunderstandings in the workplace causes productivity losses, hurt feelings, and unnecessary conflict. Communicating with clarity can prevent misunderstandings and keep things running and smooth and peaceable." So saying exactly what is meant to say is what she's talking about. It's important to not fluff up the conversation when we're having it with one of our colleagues or even our boss. Sometimes people try and do that in my profession, and it just kind of makes them not seem as professional because the person who's receiving it doesn't understand what is going on in this person's language. Saying exactly what is meant and modifying your message to be precise with your audience is super important. In fact, the 2 professional practices go hand in hand. So my next topic is going to be about knowing your audience directly. A mother often babbles to her baby as they form communications. So have you ever seen a mom go blah, 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 like communicating with her baby? So that's the type of language that she's going to use directly to this infant. She has specifically tailored her communication to what the baby needs and what they need to hear for the baby to remain engaged. So that's what we need to be doing in our professional lives, except for we don't need to be babbling to our audience. We need to be talking professionally to something that they're interested in, something that they can grow off of, and something that they find emotionally connective. I think that's one of the most important parts of this whole topic, is being emotionally connective with your audience. And in order to do that, you have to be knowledgeable about who they are directly. When giving a speech or teaching a formal lesson or conducting a corporate meeting, being knowledgeable about your audience should be one of your top priorities. This will ensure that your audience or the receivers will understand and be engaged with your message. So be sure to frame your message to what they want to know and what will stick best in their minds directly. Be sure that your message is particularly engaging for the individuals in your current audience. And then if you're giving the same speech or you're giving the same message to different audiences, make sure that you change it for every audience that you give it to tailor it to their needs. And then afterwards, I would suggest to seek specific feedback preceding your message to them and truly get to know them more personally. So another significant way that we can get to know our audience is by becoming an active listener. So that takes us right into our third point. When learning to communicate effectively and professionally, becoming a great listener is absolutely essential. Elizabeth Rittman, she wrote an article that's titled "Make Yourself Indispensable," where she has highlighted learning to listen as her number one tip for developing communication skills. So in this article, she expresses that communication isn't just all about what you're doing or what you're talking about. So I'm going to directly quote her in this part right now. Okay, so it says, communication isn't about what you're doing or talking. A great deal of communication involves your listening to other people. One mistake people make is that when someone else is talking, they tend to only be thinking about what they want to say or whether it's their turn again. So that was a quote again by Elizabeth Rittman, who wrote "Make Yourself Indispensable." Yeah, that's indispensable, yeah. A great deal of communication, like she said, isn't about what you're going to say next. It's about listening to those that are talking to you and really internalizing that message and putting forth effort to professionally go about doing what the person just asked you to do. One mistake that people make is that when someone else is talking, they tend to be only thinking about what they want to say when it's their turn, or they're not really listening about what is being said to them. So that's when key information is missed. Listening has an undividing association to in what way a person communicates in their professional relationship. So that is another quote by Elizabeth, and she says it again, saying, listening has an undividing association to in what way a person communicates in their professional relationships. So we need to directly focus on this skill in order to become good at it. It's not easy to clear your mind and think about only what they're telling you. Most of us are always looking for the next thing to say, but I want to give you guys a activity, but not the actual activity. I want to give you kind of a prompt like, hey, let's work on this as a whole, because we can all work on our listening skills, and it will help us become more professional communicators in the end. When an individual takes time to directly develop their communication dexterities, they will not only improve their social and family lives, but also their professional lives. So we're working directly on our professional lives in this class. So that's why I thought that this topic was extremely necessary to highlight a few of the main things about communicating that everyone needs to work on and we should develop. When the sender delivers a message with clarity, and that means that there's a guarantee that they will be received. that the message will be received well and as it should be, which is what we want. Knowing your audience and knowing how to listen are crucial to communicating professionally. Learning to become a leader may be difficult from the start, but great communication skills take practice to develop in every natural leader. So there is a leader in every single one of us. There is such thing as a natural leader, but most leaders should have had to put forth work and effort into what they're becoming. And I know that if everyone works on their clarity and tries to develop knowing their audience better and also listening skills, then they would benefit from the development in their professional lives. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I am excited to hear feedback from everyone. I am happy that I know most of you guys personally in this class, which is amazing because that's kind of what my topic is about, is knowing your audience. So I'm happy that I get to be friends with some of you all in this class, and I hope that the ones that I don't know, I get to know better, and I will enjoy listening to everyone else's presentations. Thank you so much.